G'day guys, welcome to another video. Today we'll be doing something a bit different than normal. We'll be covering a new game, much like one of the old fatherly reviews that we used to do back when the channel first started. Jeez, I just tried to think of how long ago that was, but before we get into that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the game First Descendant and how you're going. Have you taken out the Hanged Man yet and made it into hard difficulty and things like that? Always interested to hear how the community's going. And yeah, so today we will be going over just my first thoughts over the first couple weeks the game has been out. I've been playing it kind of distracted and forgetting to make this video, so let's get into it. As I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll go from there. Now, first of all, let's go into some of the game information. It was released on the 2nd of July 2024 Australian Eastern Standard Time. This game is owned by Nexon. It is a third-person shooter looter that is currently free to play with microtransactions to boost the game's economy. Now, while playing this game, I felt heavy inspiration from 3 other games that I have played in the past, and honestly, every time something new comes into the game, it is something from one of these 4 games, but with each of them being somewhat of a decent game, that's not actually a bad thing. There is, of course, the first of these 3 games being Outriders, where the gameplay, looks, and even basic movement to some degree can be seen to be the exact same as what is found in that game. Many of you may have seen some of my other Outriders content. I spent a bit of time on that game, and yeah, I can definitely say there is a very familiar vibe there. The next game that instantly springs to mind, being another one that I make a lot of content on, as you will know, is Warframe, with the character style of leveling, the mastery level, the modding up weapons and abilities, the 4 abilities per character with a 1 passive, the crafting, the ability augments throughout the mission, taking up mod slots. I'm sure anyone who has played Warframe can see the similarities, the catalysts, the formers, the reactors, and so on and so forth. All very similar things to that game, in my opinion, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. Warframe is one of my favorite games, and they have taken some of the very fun mechanics from it. Now, next up is a game that I haven't played in quite some time. I played it back on a different channel, but that would be Destiny, and its legendary unique weapon styles, the weapons having unique abilities, the hub world, even down to like the hub worlds are very similar to Destiny, but at least they're not trying to call each hub world a whole planet, and it's just one section of a planet, so it doesn't feel like the map is as small as it actually is, because they're not claiming some large area is meant to be this small area. Nothing against Destiny, its players are different. Not my style of game, but I used to play it, so yeah. Anyway, the final game that this game has taken inspiration from, at least from what I can see, would be Anthem, and that's just the general look and loadout system, the modules, things like that. It really reminds me of back when I was trying out Anthem, giving it every chance it could after the quite a few quality of life updates that it went through, but that is much of a muchness. It is just something I thought I'd throw in there for anyone who thought that it might feel familiar. That's where that's coming from. But that covers the basics of the game. It has a very similar crafting system to most games, but very much to Warframe, I must say, and if you enjoy any of the 4 games listed, it's worth giving it a shot. Anyway, I'm going to go get into some pros and cons of the game, see if you're interested in playing, and we will continue from there. So, starting off with the cons, obviously, because I haven't been able to find many of them, being a bit generous with it being a newer game, giving it some little bits of advantages at certain points. Of course, it's got some new games issues where the servers can be a bit buggy, it's a bit laggy at times, characters still finding their way, people not knowing what they're doing, and a lack of information. This is just something that happens within the first few months of a game's life always, but that is what it is, and we will not really be able to do anything about that, and I don't see much point in giving a game gripe for having new game issues in its first month, so we'll see where it goes from there. The other main issue that I've been having is some of the people who are playing a game like this, which is a team game with objectives, without any knowledge of how to complete objectives or how to play as a team, which can be detrimental for everyone else within the game when this happens, because they don't know what they're doing, they slow the team down, or can even in some points completely fail the team. Where possible, if possible, I do suggest playing with actual friends instead of randoms, and the solo experience can be alright at times, but I don't heavily suggest it too much. As for the pros to the game, let's be honest, this is just a downright fun game. Even the games that it's trying to mimic, all four of them have their moments which just make them some of the most iconic and time-consuming games, with an exception of Anthem, which never really kicked off, but that wasn't so much a gameplay issue as much as it was everything else. Those who were around when Anthem dropped, you know what I'm on about, and when it had its second life, the damage was done, and even though it was fun, I did play during the second life, it did not have the player base to maintain after the sketchy drop that it did drop with. That being Anthem, of course, and not the first Decedents, which is the game we are talking about today. Which is a game with a multitude of play styles, which is something that is a very big pro for me. You can do many different play styles depending on what your mood is. I've been playing very hyper controlling characters, locking down areas with toxic and ice. Currently in the background you can see me playing with the ice character I've been using, with one of my mates, Key, being more focused on a defensive guy, which is seen here. I'm not sure if Key is playing, not by the looks of the feed, but he is playing Ajax, which is the character Key plays to be defensive with the bubbles and walls. And another mate's been playing Creaky. He's been playing another one which is a fire-based character, so there's lots of characters to choose from with lots of abilities, and with that multiple of options with play styles, there's also multiple mission options which can lead you to being able to do almost anything you want within the game, much like Warframe and Outriders, where you're not really stuck so much in an endgame loop. Well, not so much Outriders, but with Warframe, let's say. Another very fun aspect of the game that you would have seen a couple times by now throughout the gameplay is part of our movement tech. We get given a zip line. You can enhance your zip line using your mod cards if you want to. I choose to get extra zip lines because I like feeling like Spider-Man zipping around the map. It is actually rather a fun way to get around the map when you want to. Could be do the longer zip line, but I'll work on that within time. And yeah, other than that, they're the main pros and cons that I've found going through the game so far. Sorry about that stagger. Of course there are many more, but they're just the major ones, and the 4 inspirations for the game that I've noticed so far. Overall, I think this game is rather phenomenal. I've been enjoying it more than Warframe lately, with Warframe kind of been in a bit of content drought with only the Jade content coming out recently, and even that was a bit of a miss, so it's not as fun as I thought it would be. And with the drop of the first Descendants, I might be releasing more videos for them soon, so if the game keeps going or you are interested, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, let me know you're there and what you want to see, and I will catch you all in the next video. You enjoy. Now I'll just leave you out with some final closing thoughts on the game. It can be a bit grindy, I will be honest with you. Most games like this are at the end of the day though, and at times the 20% drops can feel like they're not actually 20%, but that is just how a flat drop mechanic works. I remember in Warframe going 50-60 relics trying to get that 10% drop, so I completely understand that. Well, these drops can feel stupid at times. It is not as bad as people are making out. It's just some people are very unlucky. I've experienced it myself when I was trying to get all the parts for my Fallen Hope, for example. But that's just how the game is. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Probably another Warframe video for those who are interested.